Due to his consistent play, Djokovic often holds the top spot in the world rankings. He is currently ranked first in the world and has held that position for the most weeks. In February 2023, Djokovic broke Steffi Graf's record for the most weeks at number 1. So I guess it is safe to say that he might be the greatest tennis player ever. Hello everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel, where we explore the fascinating world of sports and athletics. So the question we're facing today is whether Novak is the greatest tennis player ever. Well, I think he might be, so sit back and relax as we take you to examine the life of Novak Djokovic. We'll examine whether Djokovic can be regarded as the greatest tennis player of all time, whether any players have a realistic chance of succeeding him, and who might be the guy to take his place at the top in the future. Many tennis fans and the top tennis websites agreed that Novak Djokovic is without a doubt the greatest player to have ever lived when he defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas at the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne at the end of January to win the Australian Open. The Serbian, who is now ranked number 1 in the world, has a long list of achievements that testify his dominance as the best male player in the history of the sport. But does the fact that he is the best of all time simply reflect recentness? If it comes down to numbers alone, Novak Djokovic only needs one more major victory to absolutely dominate the competition. His victory at the Australian Open at the beginning of the year marked his 22nd major victory, tying Rafael Nadal's record set when he won the same competition the previous year. In addition, he has held the top spot in the ATP rankings longer than any other player including Nadal and has won more Masters titles overall. He's not exactly slowing down either. Since turning 30 years old, he has captured 10 Grand Slams, which is more than any other player in history. Djokovic wins, despite the fact that we have a bias in favor of the players who we have been watching more recently. Compared to Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal, he has a better record. He has only failed to advance further than anyone who has ever stepped on a court because of his time away from several events in recent years. After going pro in 2003, it took Djokovic 5 years to win the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam trophy. Apart from the 90 or so tour title victories, Djokovic now holds a record of 38 ATP Masters 1000 titles, 5 ATP Finals titles, and 22 Grand Slam titles. Novak Djokovic is the first male tennis player in the Open era to achieve a double career Grand Slam, winning each of the 4 majors at least twice. He has also won the Australian Open, a record of 10 times. Novak Djokovic, a player who also prefers to rely on his baseline game and strong serves, is just the second male player, after Rod Laver, to win all 4 Grand Slam tournaments in a single season. The Serb accomplished this feat in 2015 by winning the Wimbledon and US Open, and then followed it up in 2016 with victories at the Australian Open and French Open. With his victory at the Cincinnati Masters, the Serb also completed a career Golden Masters in 2018, winning all 9 ATP World Tour Masters 1000 competitions. So here are some of the reasons why Novak Djokovic might be the GOAT. Consistency is demonstrated by remaining at the top of the global rankings, and Djokovic has long since broken Roger Federer's mark of 310 weeks spent dominating the sport. Despite missing 6 tournaments last season, he has spent 373 weeks at the top of the rankings, and the victory at Melbourne Park pushes him back to the top. Novak established a record in the 2015 season that will never be surpassed. He won 11 tournaments, including the Australian Open, Indian Wells, Miami, Monte Carlo, Rome, Wimbledon, US Open, Beijing, Shanghai, Paris Bercy, and Masters Cup, for a total of 16,785 points. The 9 tournaments in the Masters 1000 category that are held all around the world after the Grand Slams. With 37 of these victories under his belt, Djokovic has won more than Nadal and 9 more than Federer. In addition, Djokovic is the only athlete to have won each of the 9 Masters 1000 titles, and he has done so at least twice. More than any other player over the age of 30, he currently holds 10 Grand Slam titles. Djokovic has matched Roger Federer's record of 6 ATP Masters Cup victories. The Masters tournament, which is now taking place at the Alpe Tour in Turin, has yet to be won by Nadal. The fact that Djokovic beat Federer and Nadal is clearly superior. In individual duels, he outperforms the Swiss with 27 victories to 23 for the former and 30 for 29 for the latter. He has also triumphed in 1,043 of the 1,249 games he has played, which is an impressive feat. That results in an 83.5% success rate. Nadal is ranked second on that list with 1,068 wins to 220 losses, or an 82% success rate. Men's tennis is in its absolute prime right now. The two players that would come the closest to Djokovic in terms of competition for the GOAT title are both currently active players. Of course, Nadal shares the record for the most Grand Slam triumphs, and he has managed to recover from injuries to retake the top spot. Despite having announced his retirement from the major tennis competitions, Roger Federer is still regarded as one of the all-time greats. He was the first player to win 20 major titles, and in the 2000s, he won 5 straight Wimbledon championships. That included competing multiple times against Nadal. He undoubtedly would have won more championships if he had been able to play better on clay. Rod Laver might have an argument for being the greatest ever if we go back a little further. The Australian competed during both the amateur and open eras and won both. He is the only player, male or female, to have achieved all 4 Grand Slam victories in a calendar year twice, and he definitely would have won more than 11 majors had it not been for a 5-year ban from competition after going pro. Despite being 35 years old, Novak Djokovic is still winning championships and seems invincible. There will soon be a change of leadership at the top of men's tennis, with Federer already having retired and Nadal's career coming to an end. Players like Lorenzo Musetti and Jannik Sinner have shown great promise in recent years, but they have been held back by players like the current Big Three, who are still competing for the top spot. Spain's Carlos Alcaraz, a youthful player, has, however, managed to stand out. Alcaraz, who will turn 20 this year, has been somewhat loosely compared to Nadal. In 2022, he won the US Open, the first major of his career. He will undoubtedly win more. But whether he can surpass the current #1 is a different matter entirely. It's extremely feasible that Novak Djokovic won't ever be matched again. As the greatest player the sport has ever seen, Novak Djokovic has received praise from some fans, athletes, coaches, and legends. But we can't just believe what they say, so let's look at the facts. It will be difficult to refute Novak if we are to go by the statistics. He has defeated more elite players than any other player and is considered to have dominated one of, if not the strongest, periods in tennis history. At 83.4% for players with more than 500 victories, he also holds the Open-era record for the highest career winning percentage. Even though Rafael Nadal still has won more major championship than Novak as of the time of this recording, some fans may point out that Djokovic has established so many records that they are unlikely to be surpassed anytime soon. What do we have left? Hard courts, grass, and clay are all surfaces where the Serbian thrives. He likely ranks only slightly below Rafael Nadal, the king of clay, even on clay, and he's still one of just 2 players to defeat Nadal in the French Open. The Serbian has a complete game, and renowned tennis instructor Nick Bollettieri has referred to him as the most perfect player of all time. So guys, this is for today. Let us know in the comments section what you think about Novak being the greatest tennis player ever, and if any of the players would be able to surpass his achievements. Let us know what you want to see in our next video. We'll be back with it. Till then, take care and goodbye.